This family is over the top, so don't worry, so are we. We are back for part 2 of Queen of Versailles. Wow. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Housewives Recaps. Today, we're talking Queen of Versailles, the show on Paramount Plus. You guys, it is so crazy, so over the top, so ridiculous that Jay and I decided we'd try one more episode, second episode, and just I don't know, make fun of it the whole time. So again with me, I called myself the Queen of Target, and I call him my Queen of, not Queen, my King of the Dollar Tree. So Jay's here with me. Say hi, Jay.
I don't know how they're making this into a series. I don't know how many episodes this is going to be, but it's they're running out of stuff to do already, and this is episode 2.
Yeah, so he's right. This show is terrible, and it's even worse on the second episode. So this is going to be our last one on this one. But, we had to make fun of it. So here we are. Just in case you missed the first one, definitely go back and watch that one. Basically, I'm not going to do an in-depth recap. We're just going to make fun of some scenes in it and just kind of laugh our way through because this show is over-the-top ridiculous. Side note, it does deal with the loss of her daughter due to addiction, substances. That's awful, terrible. I'd never make fun of that. So we're just going to skip over that part and just talk about the stuff we can make fun of, like the over-the-top spending on useless crap that they don't even know what to do with.
I feel like this may be part of a bigger movie, that somebody from the mafia run over her bicycle and leave her a blank check, because that's how she's spending this money. I'm sure those kids are screaming internally, stop, because they're watching everything that they can have, and not have to work again, just get pissed away.
Yeah, so we talk about it a lot in the last episode, just the over-the-top spending, and also, that she's got to be on something that rhymes with Smills, I would guess. I'm just guessing, but there's just this vacant look in her eye, like there's just nothing there. And it's more than just a lack of common sense. It just seems like a lot going on and nothing all at once. But she's just, everything is over the top, but not even a fun, like, Real Housewives spending porn kind of way, because that's kind of fun to watch. It's just sad at this point. Everything's kind of falling down around them. This house at this point is 20 years old, 20 years in the making. So, like, this episode was spent talking about how even in the construction, stuff doesn't make sense anymore. So they have to redo a room that's still under construction 20 years later because the technology has become outdated, because they're insisting that they want Benihana kitchen. Yep, you heard me right. They want Benihana in their house. She kept bragging about being the only one to have Benihana in their house. Yeah, there's a reason for that.
I think that's the part I have the most problem with. Like, yeah, it's okay. You got money. You want to buy stuff you like. That's cool. But, I mean, do you need a Benihana in your house? I mean, come on. Most normal people that have a lot of money would just say, oh, let's put in a hibachi grill. Let's buy a Blackstone. Or, some kind of flat top grill, but not, let's install, I like tacos. Let's install a Taco Bell franchise in the kitchen. And, in the morning kitchen, I like Chick-fil-A's breakfast. Let's put in a Chick-fil-A franchise in the morning kitchen. We can't eat on Sunday though, so that's a problem.
Yeah, so much ridiculous going on. So she gets these ideas in her heads, and basically everybody around her makes fun of her, but she can't see it. Even the daughters were talking crap. Like, she gets obsessed with things. So right now it's these damn birds. She really wanted flamingos and was legitimately upset when she found out that she has to have a license and prove that she can take care of these things, that they're not just for home access. Like, you have to be a zoo or something to have flamingos. So instead, she says she has to, quote unquote, settle for the next best thing. She bought 2 toucans. One was $11,000, one was $9,000. So $20,000 worth of 2 birds that she wants to have in her morning kitchen. Again, I talk about that last episode. What the fuck is a morning kitchen? It's not a thing. It's something stupid she made up. She wants them in her morning kitchen and doesn't understand why these 2 giant toucans can't just live in a bird cage in her kitchen.
Follow your nose. It always knows the flavor of scams wherever it goes. Yeah, so she got 2 toucans for like 20 grand or whatever it was almost. I mean, I almost feel sorry for this lady because I'm sure people are just taking advantage of her left and right because she doesn't do any due diligence on anything. They're probably just like, oh yeah, this bar came from England, pub. It's old. Give us money. He's like, okay, and then it could be from a movie set or something. But yeah, the toucans. She got two toucans and named them Fruit and Loop, which is a little bit on the nose. The big banana-shaped long nose. At least you could have named it Sam. It would have been a little subtle. And, I don't know what you name the other one. If you want to Google the freaking Fruit Loop canonical characters, there was like 3 nephews at one point. There's names. You can dig deeper than that. Yeah, so on that note, hey, Jen, I just spent 30 grand on a criminal wolf that steals cookies. Don't know what happened to the cops, so good luck with that.
Hey, that's bad.
Oh my God, you know too much weird cereal trivia. I think we need to get back to the show. And also, boobs. I'm sorry, I don't normally try to talk about looks, especially women's bodies and blah, blah, blah. Those boobs, that's all I see, big, hard boobs. They're like the size of my head. And since we're confessing things, this is a good time to tell you that I'm going to start dressing like this every day. Okay, so this does bring up a good point. I just want to remind everybody that they live in Orlando. We're in Jacksonville, which is like 2 hours north of them, so we technically get colder than they do. It's not cold here. I don't have a fur coat. It doesn't make any sense. We get I don't know, one weekend a year where we can turn on the heater. It just doesn't make any sense. She showed all these. I forget, I have all the numbers, but she spent thousands of dollars running these heating elements through the kitchen floor in the morning kitchen. I'm going to make a drinking game out of that, by the way, morning kitchen, because that's a thing. So she fell in love with this heating stuff. So she's putting it all under the marble. She had this marble flown in from Italy for like $300,000 just for one room of the house. She dresses like it's Alaska with these big fur coats. What the hell is happening?
So she goes on a quick trip to Vegas, to Westgate, which they purchased, I can't remember when, a while back, 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And it belonged to Elvis. It's Versailles themed, like most things. So this is like another origin story. Very opulent, very overdone, gold everything, gold everywhere. So much stuff in the room you can't move around. Looks great.
So Jay summed it up really well in the last episode. Basically, her husband, David, who we still haven't seen in the series because he's been in the hospital, but that doesn't seem to matter to Jackie. He owns these Westgate, I don't know, timeshare situations, and this is part of that. This is the penthouse that they acquired 10 years ago. I'm guessing, does that mean that they bought the building for penthouse or for timeshares and they just took over the penthouse? Who cares? I don't know. It's all Versailles themed. It's all as stupid as you think it would be.
Yeah, if I'm not confusing things, Westgate was the original company. That's that's how he invented timeshares. And I believe he sold it all to somebody else. So this may be a remnant of his former company. They probably got to keep the penthouse in this building. That rings a bell. I remember one of the documentaries being all dramatic, like they turned the sign off like at midnight the day that the contract went into effect for the new owners. But either way, I'm starting to question whether the husband's actually in the hospital or not. I think maybe he just didn't want to be on the show, and he just conveniently came up with an excuse.
So I had a very similar thought. She just keeps talking about him being in the hospital, but then. Well, I say she just talks about it. She brings it up like once an episode, but then we hear nothing. We don't see him because I guess he's in the hospital, but it's just so weird. She talks more about the timeline of the house. The whole thing is she has to get it ready for a New Year's Eve party she's throwing. It's all so stupid, you guys. And she just doesn't seem to care that much about the husband. He's like 86 years old, so he's pushing 90. And she talks about how big everything is and how much walking they'll do in the house. And I'm thinking, is that a good idea for an almost 90-year-old? Probably not.
So yeah, while Jen said that, we both just put together some gross math. I think the youngest kids are 14. So he's 86 minus 14 equals ew.
Okay, so they eat at Benihana, and it's her favorite place to go. Who cares? She pretends to cook. It's like they've already run out of storyline second episode. She goes back home. She realizes, oh no, I need better ventilation if I'm going to have Benihana kitchen. You guys, it is the most ridiculous storyline because she starts freaking out thinking, oh, what am I going to do about this ventilation? She talks to the contractor and he's like, oh, this was built 20 years ago. We got to start all over. It's so crazy on the Benihana kitchen of it all. I mean, it's just so over the top. The idea that they've built this big dumb house that they can't afford, but they've decided to continue building it now that they're flush with cash again. And the idea that the technology in it that they haven't even used yet is already out of date. So they need to knock it down, start over. It's all so crazy, you guys. So crazy. The other thing that I want to bring up is that the original Versailles was about her building this dream house and starting the project and all this money. And of course, it all came to a halt and ended when the market crashed in 2008. Of course, we know that affected everything financial. I won't even go into it all. But I will tell you, put on your tinfoil hat, it feels like we're headed that way again. Just a guess. I don't want to get political. I don't want to get into finances. I'm only saying this as somebody who trades stocks on the market, is familiar with this stuff. Things are ugly, and they're projecting that they're going to get worse next year. So I'm just saying, wonder if they're going to have to put a pause on this whole building project when that happens.
So they just keep bleeding money, and I did look it up. I couldn't remember the specifics on what happened with the company. I guess they still are a thing. Westgate, they still operate all their timeshares. I'm just thinking of the specific property in Las Vegas. I guess they either sold it or sold a big chunk of it, and that's how they got the cash infusion to apparently keep the company still going. So I guess money's still coming in, but gosh, I don't know if it's coming in faster than she's spending it. I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it's one, hey, if you have money and you want to spend it and have fun, hey, that's, what you do with it, that's your business. But if you're going to put it on TV and be like insane with it, I think we can kind of comment on that and say, wow.
Okay, so something I totally meant to say at the beginning of this episode. Last episode we messed up. We said that we thought the house was 30,000 square feet. No, it's 90,000 square feet because they weren't dumb enough the first time. So she goes in to feel the heated floors and loves it. Again, Orlando, Florida. That might come in handy one weekend a year for all I can, But she falls in love with it so much, she's decided, I need to put it in the whole ballroom area. And the obnoxious son has to point out that it's 50,000 square foot ballroom. It's just like, really? Okay, sure, that makes sense. It's just also ridiculous. So they, again, pretend like this Benihana thing's going to be a huge issue. So the construction people are pointing out, why logistically it doesn't make sense. It's commercial space. You're trying to put it as residential. It doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. The only thing this crazy bitch, yep, I said it, can focus on over and over is she keeps saying, I've told everyone that we're having a Benihana kitchen. So we need to make this work because I've already told everyone it's going to be over the top. And she's legit upset about that. We've heard more about this friggin' morning kitchen and this Benihana kitchen than we have about her husband in the hospital. So crazy.
That pretty much sums up the whole show. It's just excess and lack of planning. The floor thing still gets me. One thing that crossed my mind is that in all likelihood, she's probably blasting the AC full blast where it's like 65 in the house in Florida year-round. So if it's 90,000 square feet, imagine the electric bill on cooling a house that size. I would guarantee that would make it like tens of thousands a month to operate the electricity on that house. If you got HVAC going 24/7, plus the heated floor probably going 24/7. To cool the house to heat the house that's being cooled beyond reason. I mean, that sums it all up. It's just insane. If this house is ever finished, how long is it going to last? It's insane.
Well, guys, that is it for us. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go plan our 90,000 square foot house with elephants and giraffes and shit in it because, that makes sense. But we really appreciate you watching. This will probably be it for this series because it's just so awful. But do let me know your comments and we will move on and find something else. And do check out Jay's channel, Dr. Bad Vibes. He does all kinds of fun gaming stuff. And check out Patreon because we're doing the original Sex and the City series over there. We do Always Sunny. And the top tier is Picking What We Watch. So check that out. And thank you for being here. Take care. Bye-bye.